so let's go over the cold brew process of how to make some. You'll need about 20 pounds worth of beans. These are 5 pounds each. You'll need your vats. You'll need some filtered water. It's going to take about 12 to 14 gallons of water for each of these vats along with the beans. And of course you need a bulk grinder to be able to grind all of the beans into a coarse setting. So I already ground some of these. You'll also need Alto bags, which are basically giant tea bags in a sense for your coffee. And they open difficultly sometimes. So I already got 5 pounds ground. You'll want to make sure it's on the coarsest setting so that way you get the coarsest coffee grounds out. So I went ahead and did 5 pounds. And you can enter about half of the bag at a time into the coffee grinder, so about 2.5 pounds each. But to show you what I do with this, I set this down. Again, this is about 5 pounds here. I open up the bag, and then I cover it over, kind of like a pillowcase. And then dump it in to the vat. So that way it's all in the Alto bag. You want to be careful not to shake it too much once you get up and out of the Alto bag, because you don't want the grounds kind of flying or the chaff flying all over inside of the vat, which will end up in the drink, and no one likes a chunky cold brew. So I'm going to put this back on to here. And this has a setting to where if it doesn't have something pushing against the bar that's in the back, that it will auto turn off. So if it just turns off part way, you'll just have to adjust the bag and make sure it's all going in the bag still. Open up at the top. And open up another bag. Just gotta get some scissors for that. Pour in like about half of the bag. Close it on the top and hit start. Oh, see, it's got that setting. It's not feeling something. I'm gonna have to reset that. There we go. See, all I did was adjust the bag a little bit, and that let the setting know that it's taken care of. And then while that's going on, you're going to want to get your water filled up. I already have 3 of them filled up for the sake of the video time, so I'm just going to get this one filled up over here in the filtered water sink. So I went ahead and finished grinding the coffee and filling up my water jugs. So I want to show you, this is the first 5 pounds that we poured in, right, when we did the pillowcase over it. So now the next part is I already ground the next 5 pounds that need to go into this bag. So I'm going to fold over the edge around the whole bag, just the top part. And now with this bag over here with the grounds, I don't know if I can really show you that easily with this, but I'm going to kind of like crumple up the top and hold it together. Here, I'll try to show you. I'm holding the bag together like this so that grounds don't come out. And then I'm going to put it inside of the bag and then let it loose. So that way I can put the other 5 pounds in without getting grounds and chaff all over inside of the vat. And again, when you shake it, you don't want to shake it too hard because you don't want it to go all over the place. I'm going to put this back. Now, normally, since this is the first vat I'm filling, normally I would go ahead and get the next round starting to grind for this vat. But I'm doing a video now, so I'm just going to do it one at a time. But I'm letting you know that when you're working on this by yourself, you're going to want to do multiple things at the same time for efficiency and speed. Ultimately, I was able to get it down to about 45 minutes to start cold brew. That's including grinding the beans, putting the water in, getting the water ready, like just everything. It should be about 45 minutes. It should definitely be under an hour for this part of the process. All right, so I got my grinds in here. Now I'm gonna want to get one of the water jugs and pour some water into here. Probably 1.5 gallons to 3 gallons in here to get the grounds wet, so that way they start seeping together already and blooming, and gets rid of any other gases that are there before I tie the bag shut with zip ties, which I forgot to mention earlier. You just need 1 zip tie per bag. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of these water jugs. And when you do this, and I'm sorry if the camera shakes because it's kind of on the same table here, but when you do this, you're gonna want to grab one side so that it doesn't accidentally start going into the vat, because if you let go or if it slips, the sludge of the coffee grounds and water might exit the bag into the vat, and that would be very difficult to fix after it's already done. So I'm not trying to pour it too fast. I just want to get it wet. Stop a second. Okay. Here, try to get a little bit closer where my hand is. It's not going to be a perfect situation because we don't have the perfect way to pour this in. So I definitely poured at least 1.5 gallons already. This is pretty close to 3 gallons now. All right. And then you'll want to bring the bag up. Get that zip tie. And run your hand down so that it gets less of a gap between the grounds and where your hand is. And just twist it closed. Zip tie at the base. All right. Make sure you pull it really tight as you can, so that grounds don't come out. Now that should be good to go. And basically what you gotta do from here is fill it up until close to, there's a 15-gallon mark that's over here. And you may need to hold the bag down in the liquid for a bit while you're pouring, just to make sure you're not gonna overflow once you put a lid on it. Because if you put the lid on it and it pushes the bag down and the water comes out, you're gonna make a big old mess. So I got that part done. I'm just gonna start pouring some more on top of it. I just do on top just to get the rest of it wet. I don't think it necessarily matters at this part. And then you're gonna want to start pouring the other water in. And basically, you're just gonna empty the other bottles of water and refill them as you go. Because like I said, this is the first vat. We're gonna have to get another 12 gallons for the next vat, so might as well start filling them up after pouring them out while you're pouring another one in. You know, it's kind of constant, efficient cycle here. Now this is the part, getting close to the top, where you're gonna wanna hold it down. Just so you make sure that it's not going to overflow once you put that lid on. Alright, pretty much at the 15-gallon mark. And then, once you put the lid on, at the very end, you're going to need to put probably about 1 gallon's worth of water on top, just to make sure that it's holding it closed. And the other thing that I do to make sure it stays super closed, just in case there's any bugs or anything that you haven't seen, is I wipe part of the rim here, and then there were those reseal stickers that you had with the 5-pound coffee. I just get it on the 2 different ends of the top with the lid and the vat. like so. All right, just to make sure it's nothing too big of a deal. The last thing you're going to do is make sure you label what bean you used and what time to strain it. So this one was Columbia. And I got a couple expo markers just right next to it. And the date that you strain it, so today is the 20th, so we're going to say the 21st at, it's like 1 o'clock now, so 1 p.m. because this is a 24-hour steeping process. So this is the last thing you do before ending the start of the cold brew. And then tomorrow, you'll need to come back or someone else to keg it.